So now what we're going to do is we are going to draw the whiz grid. So what we do is we take an A4, turn it on its side, and we draw two lines down, and we draw two lines across. And then we put the name of the topic in the center. So here we go with climate change. And the first heading we know is solar energy. So I put down solar. The second heading is greenhouse effect. So I put greenhouse. The third heading is the ozone layer. So I put ozone. The fourth heading is climate change. So I'm going to put change. The fifth heading is the effects of climate change. So I put effects. The sixth heading is the Paris Agreement, and I put Paris. And the seventh heading is the role of the USA, and I put USA. And then I come back up to the top right, and I start off with solar energy. And what we know is that, and I have the keywords underlined, the sun radiates, and I do this little sign, energy. So that little symbol, the sun radiates energy. And we know that in the second line then, that this is enough to heat the planet. So I put heat and planet. And it drives, so I bullet point, drives the global weather system. And I put that in there. And that's the first paragraph done. Second one, greenhouse effect is a process that occurs when gases, and I underline and put in gases in the Earth's atmosphere, we know trap the sun's heat. And I put that in like that. Second one then is the type of gases that we're talking about, greenhouse gases, is, and I draw a little arrow down like this. The greenhouse gases include, and I go to the last line there, it says carbon dioxide. So I put carbon dioxide, that's CO2. And the second one then is water vapor. And I bullet point water vapor. The third one then is, the second one is, oh, we missed the second one, which is methane. And the last one then is nitrous oxide. That's US, nitrous oxide. And now we go on to the third heading, which is ozone layer. And we know what's underlined here is this acts as a shield for life on Earth. In the second line, then, it says that it acts as a sunscreen. I put in sunscreen that absorbs 98% of UV light. And I put 98% of UV. And the ozone layer is getting thinner, and I underline thinner. And that's because of chemicals called CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons. And CFCs are contain, and we know the last line there, it says carbon, chlorine, and the last one then is fluorine. So FLUORINE. Okay, awesome. The next one then, we move on to climate change. And climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures. So I put in shifts in temperatures, and I put TEPS, temps, and weather patterns. And beside that, I put weather patterns. Underneath that, we know it's driven by human activities are the main drivers. So humans, and that's because of burning things like fossil fuels. And I put FF for fossil fuels, and also greenhouse gases. So underneath that, we put greenhouse gas emissions. And greenhouse gas emissions, this comes from things like gasoline in driving a car. I put car, gas from driving a car, and also coal. And that comes from heating a building. The effects of climate change. So I cut to the last line there. effects of scientists have long predicted would result from global climate change are now occurring, such as sea ice loss, also accelerated sea level rise, and longer, more intense heat waves. Okay, so we put in heat waves. And then we've got the Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement, I suppose this was put in place in 2015, and the aim of that was to reduce, and I'm going to put greenhouse gases, and that was to 2 degrees above pre-industrial levels, 2 degrees Celsius. Also commitments from all major countries to stop burning. I put FF for fossil fuels, and also to have zero net carbon emissions. And both of those are by 2100. I put in 2100. The USA, so we know President Obama brought the US into the agreement. President Trump thought it was a hoax, so we put in an X. He brought them out. And then President Joe Biden, he was all about rejoining Paris. So I put that in like that. So what we've now done is very quickly, we put together a one-page summary, call it WizGrid. We bullet pointed the key words, and now we've everything we need on one page.